friendo, Steve here. No, Larson's still not here. One day, I swear, his head's going to pop out of there. Anyways, this is my Impact Wrestling review. This is the go-home show before Slammiversary, which is this Sunday. I don't know what time it's at. I'm actually going to be in Long Beach for the New Japan show. I might, now that I'm doing these, I might actually check it out after the show and then get a review up maybe on Monday. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure how all that's going to work out. But in any event, I'm giving you the info, the lowdown on the Go Home show to Slammiversary. Before I get to that, I want to say thanks to all you friendos out there for getting this channel over the 10,000 subscriber mark. At least right now it's at 99.98. So by the time this goes up, I imagine I'll have gotten 2 more subscribers. And a big thanks, of course, to my wife, who's because of the Ask Stephen Lacey series. I think that might have actually helped quite a bit too. Those are off the hook popular here on the channel. So I wanted to say thanks everybody for subscribing to the channel. But let's talk about some Impact Wrestling. I have to go against my automatic sort of desire to call it TNA. It's not TNA anymore. It's just Impact Wrestling. I got to remember that. Anyways, this was, like I said, the go home, which means the show before the actual pay-per-view. So this is what they were using to really sell us on Slammiversary. As far as the go home show goes, it wasn't great. There's too many tag matches. It was kind of weird, to be honest with you. Like, it was relatively entertaining, but there was too many tag matches. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to give you my predictions for Slammiversary because I'm so well read on Impact Wrestling. First of all, we got a hype video for Slammiversary where everybody was really playing it up like it's going to be a big deal. And they were, I like when wrestlers, heel or face, get sort of sentimental over, a big event pay-per-view. This is the 15th Slammiversary. It's Slammiversary 15. And everybody was being very reserved and very, they were talking about it like there was this big epic thing. So everybody was getting, like I said, very sentimental, except for the one line from Scott Steiner, who says, I'm looking forward to ramming my fist down someone's throat. So that was good. He didn't even mention his opponent. I didn't even think he meant an opponent. I think he meant just showing up, finding somebody who imaginarily pisses him off. Is that a word? And rams his fist down their throat. Anyways, this is the last episode. They're shooting from Mumbai. The paid crowd, once again, I thought was an asset, but you could tell that this is the tail end of the tapings, and they were kind of feeling it because it wasn't quite as hot as earlier episodes from this taping from Mumbai. They did, they did a ton of contract signings that preceded, I guess, the actual episode. They didn't do within the context of the show, like a live contract signing. They said earlier tonight we did a bunch of contract signings. They had one contract signing that was literally 3 contract signings in one, because they showed one with, I think there was one with Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards who were doing a Full Metal Mayhem match. No, forget. I don't know. I think they're the ones doing this. So I don't really know a lot about Davey Richards. I know about the same amount. What I know about Eddie Edwards is that he was TNA champion. He's boring to me. I think he's horribly boring. Maybe he'd work better as a heel. I don't know. Davey Richards seems really cool, though. He's got a great face. Bruce Pritchard was out there. I noticed that he had tucked his Impact t-shirt into his jeans, and he was wearing a sport, a business coat over that. That's terrible. When fat guys tuck their shirts, that's never good. It just shows you exactly what the gut looks like. It's terrible. Anyways, there's 3 matches being signed at the same time. I think it was the EC3 James Storm one, the Alberto Del Rio Lashley one, and the Eddie Edwards Davey Richards one. Do they have their wives in it? I don't know about. I forget about this one. This is the only one that I'm kind of blanking on. Otherwise, I think I'm doing pretty good. Anyways. And they also showed some of the contract signing for Sienna versus Rosemary, which of course is the women's titles, Global Force, Impact Unification titles. So that's cool. These are all unification titles. Title matches rather. So one question I had, Mahabali Shera, is he gone once they leave Mumbai? Is he in India? Because I like him. I think he's good. Anyways, I don't know if he's going to be with the company. Next up, we had a video package for Sanjay Dutt versus Loki. This was heavy on video pack. This whole episode was heavy on video packages. This is like, there was a lot of recapping video packages, a lot of hype video packages. This feels exactly like a kind of, not really. It was like an old SmackDown episode before the brand split. How SmackDown was like, okay, well, I know nothing is going to happen. It's all going to be recaps leading up to the pay-per-view. Wasn't quite that, because after that, we got an actual match. Again, it was a tag match. Loki, Trevor Lee, Loki and Trevor Lee versus Matt Sydal and Sanjay Dutt. They need to really, if they have Loki under contract, I don't know what any of their contract statuses are like, but if they have Loki under contract, they really need to push the crap out of him. He needs to be a main eventer for like everything. And I know he's probably going to be just in the X Division scene, but Loki has more charisma than all these guys put together. And that's saying a lot, because I love Trevor Lee and I love Matt Sydal. I just feel like Sanjay Dutt is champion. I really hope that they don't keep that title on him. Like, his job, from what I understand, is supposed to be like wrestler slash producer of the X Division. I guess he's gonna be the guy behind the scenes who's going to be actually finding the talent for the X Division, which is their, to me, in my opinion, their standout division. And Loki is all, he's so much charisma. There's so much charisma about that guy. But anyways, this is a fun match. Like, I feel like the X Division is the one division who really knows how to take advantage of the six sides. The weird six-sided ring. One question I had, though, is why does nobody actually grab Loki's tie? He's wearing that ridiculous suit, which I'm so torn on. I'm not sure if I like the suit or not. On one hand, I really like the idea of it. On the other hand, I don't like the red tie. And it just doesn't look like he's comfortable. It kind of kills some of the drama of a match when a guy's like wrestling and it just feels like he's uncomfortable. So anyways, this is a fun match. There's a lot of fun sort of chain wrestling and cool moves here. Matt Sydal actually got the pinfall after hitting his airborne shooting star press on Trevor Lee, I want to say. I think he scored on Trevor Lee. Then we had a D'Angelo Williams package. He's the NFL player who's going to be tag teaming with Moose, who I didn't see in this episode. So he's going to be tagging with Moose, but he wasn't. I think this would have helped that match if he was actually at the tapings in Mumbai. But they did a good job with the video package. He seems very interested in making this a good match and training his damnedest, so training his hardest. So after we saw that, we saw, it was like the serious D'Angelo Williams and Moose training. Then we got to see Chris Masters, aka Chris Adonis, and Eli Drake roaming the streets of Mumbai. And I swear, I'm not saying that they did this. It looked like they were on cocaine, because they were like, it looked like a montage of a couple of meatheads on coke in Dubai, because they were acting all erratic and laughing and weird and all jittery and so. I don't think they're on cocaine. I'm not saying they were. I'm just saying that's really, like, whoever produced that probably said, all right, now you guys are supposed to be the bad guys. So instead of acting like respectful tourists, act like you're just gone on coke and roam around the streets of Mumbai. There's all these like disappointed, local Indian people, like all like, these guys are definitely on cocaine. Anyways, that led to a match between Adonis and Drake versus somebody called the Mumbai Cats. They look like a couple of orange and green versions of Suicide, but without the word suicide on the chest. They were, I guess, luchadors. They had masks. Anyways, I figured one of these guys would be Moose, and like he would unmask like when he got the hot tag or something, and then they'd both freak out. No, it was just a squash match with some guys named the Mumbai Cats. Something tells me you're never going to see these guys again. Let's see here. Then we had, this was interesting. It was Rockstar Spud versus Swoggle, and apparently their blow-off match. I figured they'd have a blow-off match at Slammiversary, but I guess they wanted to give the Mumbai crowd something good to chew on. So the guy that broke up their actual street fight that was about to happen last week turns out to be a Bollywood star. He was a little person. He was the special guest ref in this. And it was actually kind of fun. Swoggle threw like a bunch of shit at Spud, like chalk and golf balls, and Spud sold that big time. Spud came back with a single-use trash can. He blasted Swoggle on the head with the trash can lid. So I guess this whole feud, I wasn't watching at the time, but this whole feud started because Spud de-pantsed Swoggle. I'm assuming he just dropped his pants on his underwear came off. Nobody wants to see that. But anyways, during one spot during this match, Spud accidentally took off the pants of the ref. And the ref, I don't know what's going on here, but the ref had a lot of junk going on, and Josh Matthews, who I'm actually becoming a big fan of, like there is an awkward silence between the announcers, between Matthews and Jeremy Borash, but I noticed it. I think everybody noticed it, like the giant bulge with the ref because he was wearing his like underwear, which was like Speedos. And Josh Matthews just said, "Looks like he has half the population of Mumbai in his underwear." Anyways, then Hornswoggle, got up Spud. The ref went to the top turnbuckle, and they did a doomsday device on Spud. I thought it was cool. And then Swoggle dropped a Samoan. He dropped Spud with a Samoan drop through a table that was set up on the outside of the ring. And he got the pin. I thought it was rad. I was like, oh, this is cool. Do more of this stuff. I thought they should do a rematch of Slammiversary. Anyways, then we had a scene, like a cut scene with Jeremy Borash and Joseph Park. Park comes out of the shower. They're both acting like betas. And Borash says, listen, man, for reals, you need to find the inner monster. And then he gives him an Abyss action figure. So it looks like at Slammiversary, we're going to get Borash and Abyss versus Matthews and Steiner. That makes a lot more sense. Then we had an Alberto Del Rio package where he talks about his dad, Dos Caras. I don't know. Anyways. Then we had another mixed tag match, this time Laurel Van Ness, KM, and Sienna versus Braxton Sutter, Allie, and Rosemary. So I didn't see on the card that Braxton Sutter, Allie, Laurel Van Ness, or KM are going to have a match. But that might be something they add to it. I don't know. But I know for sure Rosemary and Sienna are going to be unifying the women's titles at Slammiversary. It's a fun enough match. I honestly cannot remember who got... Oh, yeah, no, Rosemary, got the pin on Laurel Van Ness by hitting her with what kind of looks like her version of an F5. Kind of. I don't know. She just holds her up and then drops her. Then we had the last bit of Borash and Joseph Park, and it was just Joseph Park sort of realizing that he can be Abyss. Let's see here. Then another recap, Lashley and Alberto Del Rio. Then we had our main event, which was Mahabali Shera, James Storm, Eddie Edwards, Alberto Del Rio versus Lashley, EC3, Congo Kong, and Davey Edwards. And the reason why I'm going to keep on calling Alberto Del Rio, because he keeps wearing the trunks that say ADR on them and not AEP. I think it'd be Alberto El Patron, which is what he wants to go by. So once he gets some new trunks, which hopefully will be at Slammiversary, you can't go into Slammiversary, this huge show, with trunks that say ADR on them, right? You can't do that. Anyways, when EC3 came out, he started terrifying people in the front row. Again, I don't know, like, are they just doing cocaine in the back? Because he was all jittery and acting crazy. And, I mean, it's good if you're hyping the match. That's awesome. If you're crossing the line into, is this guy on coke territory? That maybe I'm not sure about. Let's see here. Shera came out first. He got killed out of the gate with like a chair and Davey Edwards. And then the faces come out. The faces ended up going over. This is a fun enough match. It was what it was. I mean, it's an 8-man match. I think ADR, Alberto Del Rio, gave a top rope double stomp or a top turnbuckle double stomp onto Congo Kong. They went over, but I have no idea how I'm supposed to figure out who's going to go over at Slammiversary via an 8-man match. All the faces as a team go over, so there's no who's standing tall and who isn't standing tall situation here. I don't know who's going over here. I just don't get it. It's weird. Anyways. So now I've got the Slammiversary predictions. My expertise. I've been watching this show for 3 weeks now, but I've got expert predictions. This is the card as it stands. 8 matches. LAX, who I have, I mean, they've done those little video packages. Don't really know much about them. They are the current. Oh, they're the current both champions. They're the current Global Force and Impact champions for the tag division. They're taking on Drago and El Hijo del Fantasma. Also in the match, Naomichi Marufuji and Taiji Ishimori. This is according to Wikipedia. versus Laredo Kid and Garza Jr. I don't know who any of those people are. I kind of know what LAX is. It's Conan's like thug group. Am I allowed to say thug? It's his Latino gang group. They do come off as very thuggish. Anyways, I don't know who from what I understand, reading The Observer, kind of, there's some like weird drama between Conan's promotion, The Crash, and AAA, and a couple of these teams are involved in this, and I don't know how that's supposed to happen, but that's drama. I don't know. I'm guessing that LAX is going to go over here because I don't know who any of these people are. Anyways, next up we have Sanjay Dutt versus Loki in a 2 out of 3 falls match. This is going to be the best match on the card and kind of guarantee that. I think that Sanjay Dutt's going to win. I really hope Loki wins. But if I'm going to say who I think is going to win, I'm going to go with Sanjay Dutt. Why are they? I mean, I guess they had their big Indian celebration, so they could put it back on Loki. Screw it. I'm going to say Loki goes over here. That's what I'm going to say. Sanjay Dutt has too many backstage. If he's going to build the X division, you can't be champion at the same time. Let's see here. Then we had Eddie Edwards and here's this match. Eddie Edwards and Alicia Edwards versus Davey Richards and Angelina Love in a full mayhem match. A full metal mayhem match. I don't know what that means. I'm going to say Eddie Edwards goes over here. I fucking don't know. They have not built this up at all over the last 2 weeks anyways, or 3 weeks. D'Angelo Williams and Moose versus Chris Adonis and Eli Drake. Oh, absolutely. This is D'Angelo Williams and Moose. That's an easy call to make. Rosemary versus Sienna. Unification match for the Impact and Global Force Wrestling Women's Championships. So Rosemary went over here. I'm going to say Sienna unifies those titles because I'm going to use the math on whoever stands tall jobs out at the pay-per-view. I'm going to say Sienna goes over here. But I think it might be a good match. I dig I dig their women's division. Knockouts. Ethan Carter III, EC3 versus James Storm in a strap match. EC3 is building this up as him burying the past of TNA Impact Wrestling, burying the people who built it in favor of the future of the company. I think that's going to happen. I think EC3 is going to go over here. Why not? Put him back in the world title scene. That'd be rad. Then Jeremy Borash and Abyss probably versus Josh Matthews and Scott Steiner. I think Borash probably gets the pin on Josh Matthews here. And maybe Scott Steiner gets pissed off at Josh Matthews. That's what I'm thinking here. So Josh Matthews kind of gets a double loss. He's going to eat a pin from Borash, and Steiner is going to get pissed at Matthews, maybe put him in the Steiner recliner because he's a fat bastard. Fat asses. Because Scott Steiner's not going to be a face here. They bring him back, and usually that's like a face thing. You bring back a face. He's not really, he is to me. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I think Borash goes over here. Let's see here. Then we have unification match for the Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship and the Global Force Wrestling Global Championship. Lashley with King Mo in his corner versus Alberto Del Rio with Dos Caras in his corner. Alberto Del Rio is going over here so he can feud with EC3 for the championship going forwards. And Lashley's going to move on to, I don't know, Scott Steiner. I have no idea. I think Alberto Del Rio is going to win this, though. He's like the new blood that they brought in. Make him your champion. You know what? I've sort of been hot and cold on Alberto Del Rio. I like him, but I kind of don't like him. I think he's kind of boring, but then whenever I hear him in interviews, I kind of like him again. Apparently him and Paige are, in fact, broken up. That's the latest. So, I don't know. I think he needs this. Spiritually, he's like, me and more. I'm done with my relationship. I need a victory here. So, that's what I'm thinking is going to happen at Slammiversary. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, because you're probably more well-educated than I am in Impact Wrestling, but I'm getting there with your help. Anyways, thanks again, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later.